What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to talk about two numbers that are very, very closely related but have some important differences. That is going to be horizontal swing plane and club path, numbers I use every day. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, Scott Oden coming at you. We're here, we're in the studio. We're going to be going over some more numbers with the Pro package. These are numbers that are very, very useful now in teaching. I love these numbers and they're numbers I use every single day. So it's been really exciting to be able to use this stuff and help people get better at the game of golf. If you have more questions about numbers, please make sure you click that subscribe button. We're going to be going over more numbers as we keep going through and breaking down the Pro package. Do not miss out on that. If you're interested in getting the Pro package or a Mevo Plus, make sure you check out the links in the description below. They do help out the channel if you use them, so we would appreciate that. And also you'll see all the training aids I've used to help my students and myself get better that I love. All right, so today we're going to be talking about horizontal swing plane, and we're going to be talking about club path. Okay, so what is the difference between the two numbers? Well, they both measure where that club is traveling left and right in degrees. Now, horizontal swing plane, that measures where the lowest point the club is. What is that path, left or right? Club path is measuring at the first touch of the golf ball, what is that club path, left or right? There is a very, very big difference in those two numbers. And the reason for that is, here's how I like to think about the numbers from a practical standpoint. Horizontal swing plane is basically if you were to just be flat on the ground, right? If I was just looking flat on the ground and looking at things and saying, all right, hey, this is where I'm swinging, left or right, which coincidentally, if you had a zero angle of attack into the golf ball, your horizontal swing plane, your club path, they would be the same. Okay, they should match up. Now, club path is what happens when you add in angle of attack. Now, it's going to change a little bit and it's going to be a number that you influence. It's a big reason why you see pros doing some of the things that they do. So let's do this. We're going to hop in the bay. We're going to go over from a practical standpoint and let's talk about how club path and horizontal swing plane differ. All right, so we're going to start going over some of these numbers. I've got a 7-iron here to start showing you what's going on. So here's the thing that happens when people start to hit golf shots when they're looking at their club path. When I'm looking at a swing, I like to use this hula hoop here to kind of illustrate this point. If I take my swing, okay, and I'm going to put this hula hoop here and get it at the angle of my golf club. If we look at the arc of a golf swing, what you'll notice is as I'm coming down on the arc, you're going to see that golf club traveling more out to the right as you go to hit a golf shot. Okay, now as you go through and start coming on the way up, you're going to notice that club starts traveling more to the left. Now, when we're hitting irons, one of the things that people struggle with is having a club path that for a righty is too far to the left and they hit fades and slices. Well, when we're hitting these shots, what we can look at is when I'm hitting, if I'm hitting downward into a golf ball, okay, what we're going to see is I'm going to see a club path that is more to the right than that horizontal swing plane, okay? So again, horizontal swing plane is just where am I swinging in relation to the target, okay? If I'm swinging left or right, that's if I had zero angle of attack, that would be what my club path is. But we don't typically swing with a zero angle of attack on an iron. So I'm going to hit one here, and I'm going to hit a shot, okay? So when we look at this one, I'm going to come over here. We have our club path. That is 1.7 to the left. Our horizontal swing plane is 3.6 to the left. So our club path is more to the right because we are hitting downward at the golf ball, okay? So one of the things that you can do to have an influence on your club path is you can change that angle of attack. You can work on hitting shots more downward. So here I'm going to try and hit downward. I'm actually going to move it back a little bit more. And let's see what we get. Horizontal plane 2.8 left. I did try to hit down on it a little bit more. You can see I did that there, negative 5.9. And so my club path is 0.5 to the left. So this is where you'll see a lot of pros when they're swinging and they're working on their games. You know, a lot of them are working on, you know, opening up, trying to swing more to the left, those types of things. But they hit very, very down on the ball. And so it's actually pushing that path out to the right. They're not cutting across it or anything like that. I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with when they first get in the game. They're like, oh, look at the pros. They're really opening up. Well, they still maintain their ability to hit down, and that club path, because they do that, doesn't get so far to the left, and they start hitting slices like an amateur would. Okay? So what we can do is one of those things we can do is start saying, all right, club path is going to be the big one where that makes where that golf ball goes. And so it's going to be a combination of, if you're hitting irons right, you want to be able to swing that horizontal plane and see that angle of attack combined to give you that club path number. And if you're hitting down on them, you want to make sure you're getting that club path out to the right, which sometimes that means you're going to have to swing and feel like you're swinging more to the right. Other times, you're going to have to feel like you are hitting more down at the golf ball. It's kind of a puzzle that you're putting together to be able to generate that club path that you're looking for. Now, when we get to a driver, this is where it gets a little bit tricky for people. Most golfers, especially ones that come and see me, they tend to slice, and they especially slice with their driver. Okay? So why does that happen? Well, everything we kind of just talked about flips. So the ball gets moved forward, right? We're trying to hit up on this golf ball. Okay? Well, what that's going to do is that is going to make, when the club is at its lowest, it's going to be back here more on the arc. So your horizontal swing plane will be more to the right. And then by the time you're making the touch of the golf ball, as you're swinging up, you're typically going to see that club path more to the left because you're trying to hit up on it, you're trying to launch it, whatever you're trying to do. And so what that means for people is, I'm not saying you shouldn't hit up on the golf ball, but what you really need to do then, if you're trying to hit a drive, is you really need to exaggerate this feeling of swinging out away from you, because you have to offset how you're traveling up and what that's going to do to club path. So your horizontal swing plane number, you know, we have to get that out there pretty big if we are going to get some sort of a draw shape. So we look at that one. You can see my horizontal swing plane 4.1 to the right. That made my club path 2.3 to the right, and my angle of attack was hitting up on it. I got my draw, maybe a little too much of one, but pretty good there as we're going through and generating a club path. Okay? So the big thing we're looking for is understanding that club path, which is the one that most people think about and want to hit the ball and control the ball with, is a three-dimensional number, not just that horizontal swing plane that most people think about. So you have to think about what it's doing with the golf ball. That's where, like, if you have a hard time with slicing, it can be helpful to move the ball back in your stance. Now you got to be careful with the driver, because that might make you hit down and send the ball and pop them up. It's a game that you have to play, and you kind of got to mess with to see what works best for you. So that's what we're trying to get people to see as they're swinging through and hitting shots is, all right, if I do these things, if I match up in certain ways, I'm going to get the results that I want. Now, from a swing standpoint, okay, how am I going to control that club path? What is the biggest thing that I see? that will help you get the club path doing what you want? Well, the biggest thing I see is you have to control your shoulders for your club path. Your club path and your shoulders, the way they are aligned, are going to be a big deal. So if I wanted to swing more out to the right, when I come back, my shoulders are going to be pointing to the right. My goal is to see if I can keep them out there as long as I can. So if I do that, let's give that a try. Okay. Let's see what we get there. I didn't hit super down on it. So let's see. Club path 1 to the right. Okay. You can see my horizontal plane wasn't super far off because I didn't hit crazy down on that one. Okay. I actually kind of like that one right there. And we go from there. If I wanted to get a little bit more of a left path, so if I was trying to hit a fade or some sort of slice, what I would do, get up, feel those shoulders open a little bit, doesn't have to be a ton, and see what that does to the path. You can see that path there, 5.8 to the left. Horizontal swing plane, because I hit down on that one, is going to be more to the left. So it's a never-ending game that we are playing of trying to control that club path. My big thing is, where are my shoulders going? That's going to make a big influence on that number. All right, so that is horizontal swing plane. That is club path. Again, there's a lot going on there. If you have questions about it, please let me know. But it has a big influence. I can think of so many shots in my career before we really had this data from radars that I would do something and I would see the ball do this. I'd be like, holy cow, why did it do that? And now I know whether I'm trying to like knock it down or trying to hit it high, whatever it is, it's just what happened. And, you know, getting a feel for that now is so much easier because we have this data. So if you have questions about it, please comment down below. Again, if you want to get these devices, make sure you check out the links down below. They do help the channel out if you use those, plus all the training aids I like to use. Go ahead and check those out and click that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber already. We'll catch you in a future video. Peace.